I listen to them the week they come out, unless for whatever reason I had to miss it.
Is that because, and I only say this because you said this twice and typed it once, so 3 times is what you said. I'm just quoting you. Life happens. Was your reason for not partaking in something that's happening in our life?
That was my reason.
Life happens.
No, I'm sorry.
Just, life happens.
Yeah, life happens.
Yeah, it's that's your bit.
I'll go back.
It sounds like your mind is. What was that?
I'm gonna go back. I want to listen to Pearl Jam again.
You don't. Okay, that's
3 o'clock high.
That's probably a good one. I haven't listened to that one again in a while. You don't have to do any of this, and I know you know that. I don't know why I said that, but I just want you to know. Yes.
Yeah, and I think I probably won't.
I'm pretty sure, and I know why. Because life happens. Life, man. It's just
Whoa.
Another cat in the room. What was that?
That was me clinking my alcoholic beverage against my water beverage.
A toast to life and how it happens. Clink. You know what else happens? Other people's lives.
50 episodes?
50 episodes.
50 episodes happen.
That would be a good segue. I think I've already got a clip from another episode I'm going to use, but that would have been nice.
Okay.
Are you ready? Good job opening the show.
I'm trying.
Last
week, yeah.
Yeah, last week. Moments ago last week.
I'm not doing it this week.
No, I know. Because life happens. I get it. I'll do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure? Because right now I've got a little life going on, but... Hey everyone ever, and welcome to number 50 of episodes for 20th Century Popcast, the show where for 50 episodes we've tried to understand 50 versions of the present while living in 50 alternate versions of the past. Oh, God. Woo! Because I'll start saying that every week. My name is Tim Blevins.
I'm Bob King.
And we are celebrating another pointless
50.
anniversary on the show. Because here's the thing, 50 should be 2 before 52, which 52 episodes in should be a full year since the show began. The show began about a month ago and a year, so we missed that somehow. We have more than 50 episodes listed, but they're not all numbered. So in all, once again, this anniversary, not a big deal.
But it's the episode that will be numbered 50.
Yes,
so
except in iTunes. iTunes chooses not to number it. So if you get the show through iTunes, you're not going to know till you listen to it that it's the 50th.
You're going to have to name it episode 50.
But it's not episode 50 because we had like 4 bonus episodes.
But that's just the name of it. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the 50th episode.
But why name
it
it
just
that? This is my child, 50. A toilet. Is that really your child? No, it's a toilet. But
episode 4 was called episode 4, but it was the first movie. Call it episode 50.
Well, it wasn't. You mean Star Wars episode 4 or our Usual Suspects?
Star Wars. No,
it wasn't called episode 4 originally. It was just called Star Wars. Then once they started the sequels, then on a re-release they added episode 4, A New Hope, to it. Right. Is what they did.
Right. So let's do your catchphrase and we'll call it a show.
All right. What is it? Keep it real, everybody. What's the new catchphrase? It started last episode. I've already forgotten.
Oh, shit.
We gotta go back and listen to all 50. No, we just gotta listen to last week's. But you don't happen to listen. Cool. What? Stay cool, everybody. Cool. Keep on in the trucks.
Keep it on.
You like it? I don't know what it is. But yeah, we've got catchphrases. But you, the listener, you've got 54 episodes to choose from that brought you up to the 50th episode. And yeah, I like it because I'm a fan of anniversary celebrations, mainly in comic books. I think I'm thinking like 25, 50, 100. They were always big issues for comic books. Like the 25th issue of the Transformers was when Megatron died, and 50th issue Spectacular of the X-Men, and issue 100 of I can't think of any other comics ever, but they have it, and it's fun and it's exciting. Of Archie, of lovable Jughead, of what's the spoiled kid's name? Reggie. Does Reggie have his own book?
I don't know.
Imagine if we were tackling that today. This was our Reggie. What's his last name? Moneyworth. I don't know what it is. Bucks.
Holy shit! You know 100% more than I do about that character.
That's not his last name. That's probably a Richie Rich character's name.
I didn't even know that character existed.
Well, then how do you know I'm talking about anything?
I don't know. You speak with such confidence, Tim. I just assume it's.
Yeah, I tried it.
It's a real thing.
I don't really know Archie that well. I mean, I'm aware of it. I didn't read them, so clearly talking about them right now would be the best thing. But instead, welcome to the show. Did we say that? I think we did.
We did.
Did you introduce yourself? You did that. I introduced myself. We did. I'm very happy to be doing the show with you. I think we've
done this 50 times. 54 times.
Well, you haven't though. That's the thing. You haven't done it 50.
No, that's true. You've got a lot of
subtract 4 times
episodes.
You would subtract 5 times from the 54. You've done it 49 times. So next episode, if we count the bonus
that's
episode,
my anniversary episode.
Your anniversary episode. Whereas for me, 4 episodes ago, so Die Hard, that was my 50th.
So this is good. We're just kind of averaging it out, and we're making this our anniversary episode.
That's how math works, I think. But yes.
Not precisely.
It's our second anniversary episode. We did a 25th anniversary episode a while back. And honestly, 50 seems like a big number. So I'm happy to be celebrating it. And I'm happy to be celebrating it with you, Bob Canning, and you, the listener. And for each of you, I pointed a different direction, but you can't see that. But what we're going to do today, it's what we did in the 25th episode as well. We're going to do some celebratory pop fives. We're going to do a show of pop fives for conversation. Bob, what is a pop five? Because we actually haven't done one in 25 episodes, or as you would call
it. Oh man, pop fives are so much fun. Pop fives are actually, they're kind of a nightmare for me.
Yes,
pop fives are when you. When we
said it, I wasn't saying. I was repeating. You mentioned it was a nightmare last time we talked about it.
Yes, because we proposed to each other a query to list the top 5 or 5 items of a particular pop culture thing, whether it be characters or songs or events or something. Pop 5 in 30 seconds. Can you name 5 of these in 30 seconds from our past pop culture experiences? And we don't know what they are ahead of time. I don't have a list prepared. I don't have it. So, and it's timed. It's 30 seconds, and I don't like being timed, and I don't like being asked questions. So this is my favorite type of show.
Everything works against you. I do like the pop fives. I think they're fun. I think they get conversation started.
They are fun. Don't get me wrong. They are fun.
And I think they're a real test of ingrained pop culture. Because again, and I think I said this on the 25th episode, when we sit down and we say, all right, today we're doing a moonlighting episode, or we're going to talk Tennessee Tuxedo and his pals, we do a little research. We know what we're going to talk about, so we prepare ourselves. So I will admit, I'm sure there's been things we've talked about where I'm bringing in knowledge that wasn't really mine, but I researched it somewhere to make an interesting episode. But with this, we're really working off of just our memory, our wits, and our knowledge of pop culture. And you know, it doesn't invalidate the other ways we talk about it. It's just kind of nice to see in a little telling what comes to the surface, what stokes it, you know, what are these memories that kind of hit, right?
Yeah.
So they're not scary.
That's a great. No, that's great.
Yeah. In fact, I think you're better at them than you think. I think you're pretty good at them. Well, I was going to say, let's find out, because I've got a couple here designed specifically for you that I think are things that are attached to you. And we can kind of ease into it, I thought, with maybe like an easy one, something maybe off the top of our heads to kind of converse about. How about that?
I hope it's Oasis related, but go ahead.
Well, this one is very much not Oasis related, but you know, the Christmas season that passed back in December. We talked Christmas specials, we talked Christmas movies, and you talked about how your favorite, or one of your favorite Christmas movies is Die Hard. Wonderful, wonderful Die Hard. So what I thought was, you know, yes, Die Hard, fine. That's great. We like it. I like it. Big Bruce Willis film, big Bruce Willis fan. Could you, Bob Canning, for me right now, outside of any of the Die Hards, name 5 enjoyable Bruce Willis movies?
Sure. Now, are you going to give me
Bruce Willis?
Are you going to give me a start? Are you going to say start because we are timing this? I have to wait for the start.
Yeah, that's how. Yes, I'm going to give you a start.
Okay.
So 5 enjoyable, non-Die Hard related Bruce Willis movies.
Okay.
Go.
Unbreakable.
Oh,
The Sixth Sense.
okay.
Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
What is that? 3?
That was 3. 3 is not a movie he made.
Pulp Fiction.
That's 4. Nobody's
North. No, not
No,
North.
that's fine. You enjoyed it. We're not going to count North.
No, I didn't.
Nobody does. 4.
Can you think of it?
3. 2. Really? Oh, sorry.
I didn't do it.
No,
See?
you didn't do it.
I can't do it.
Weird. I'm a little shocked because I did it when I came up
What
with
did I miss?
it. I mean, you said
I'm sure
you said
you-
Pulp Fiction, you said Hudson Hawk, you said Unbreakable, and you said
Sixth
Sixth
Sense.
Sense. I had
That's 4, though, right?
yeah, well, North would be 5. I had 12 Monkeys, which we saw together.
Oh, 12
amazing
Monkeys.
movie. Death Becomes Her, the comedy that he's in. I said that one. And this is the one I'm shocked you didn't say. Blind Date would have been a good one. I've never seen it, actually. But I'm going to blow your mind by saying the one you didn't say that I thought would have been the first one out of your mouth. Are you ready?
God.
The Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh!
He's in The Fifth Element, right?
He is not the fifth element, but he is in the fifth
No, the
element.
Fifth Element is love. But
Yes.
it makes me wonder. It makes me ask you, are you not, maybe you're not a fan of Bruce Willis. Maybe you're a fan of John McClane. Like, do you like Bruce Willis as an actor?
Yes, I do. And I just, this is exactly why I'm a little terrified of these pop fives. My mind goes blank. So, like, as you prepped me, I started thinking of Bruce Willis movies. And the first one I thought of was Pulp Fiction because we did an episode on Pulp Fiction.
That is true.
And
then
I thought
good in that. It's not his
Sense.
greatest role. I'm actually, his story is the dullest story in Pulp Fiction, I think.
Sure.
With apologies to Bruce
his-
Willis, you're very talented.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love The Fifth Element. I just haven't seen The Fifth Element forever. And so my mind stuck.
When was
It
the
went
last
to
time
the
you
things we've
saw
talked
Hudson
about
Hawk
recently.
or Blind
That's
Date?
forever too. But we've talked about, that's the thing. We've talked about Hudson Hawk. It's come up recently. Pulp Fiction, Unbreakable, Sixth Sense. It's things we've talked about recently. And I think because we're doing these sort of based on our previous episodes, those were the first ones that come to my head. We haven't talked about The Fifth Element yet.
No, we haven't, which
So
I get to do.
I didn't think of it.
He's done a lot of sci-fi movies. Like 12
He has.
Monkeys, Unbreakable, Fifth Element. And you know what he hasn't done a lot of? Comedies. Which I find odd because Bruce Willis, the way I first encountered Bruce Willis was through Moonlighting. He was one of the funniest people in the world in the mid to late 80s. Die Hard, everyone says it's funny. He's not as funny as I thought in Die Hard, but he's still doing jokes.
No, Die Hard's not funny.
Well, isn't
It's
he
not funny.
making jokes? Like, don't people like his jokes?
It's got it's got nervous humor in there.
Yeah.
But it's not laugh out loud.
All right, so he wasn't doing, like, he was almost working against comedy. I feel like when we saw Die Hard 2, one of the most obnoxious things was just the quips that he had to throw out. Like, there was a period where Bruce Willis, and this is weird, he's not anymore. He was quips. He was all about, he's the regular Joe action star who makes quips, and he dropped that. He's very unfunny now. I don't look to Bruce Willis for jokes. I don't look to Bruce Willis because apparently he's a Trump supporting Republican also, but I don't.
What's the last Bruce Willis movie that hit it big?
That hit it big or that we saw? Because those are both things I couldn't name right now. I think he still does a lot of movies. I don't know. Last thing I saw him in was a G.I. Joe sequel, but we're talking 90s, 80s Bruce Willis.
Right.
I'm just wondering, when did he become the sci-fi actor? I feel like he had the 12 Monkeys, Fifth Element, Unbreakable. Those were kind of like right in a row, which I think is awesome. I think he is like, because he's not overly muscular. He's not a huge guy. He's an approachable everyman for these movies. But when did he stop being funny Bruce Willis? Because honestly, and we should do Hudson Hawk one day. Of all of his movies, let's fucking do Hudson Hawk one day. Because honestly, I know parts of it are bad, but I do love that movie. And it's not the whole, like, isn't it crazy? I like the movie everyone thinks is bad. It's a good Bruce Willis movie. And it's a good 90s movie. And maybe it won't hold up. But why do you think he stopped, or when do you think he stopped doing comedy, and why?
I think he just became a bankable action star and got into the the business of that movie making
is
machine.
12 Monkeys an action movie? Is Unbreakable an action movie? Like, he's really good in those movies. He's like Sixth Sense. That's not an action movie. He's a good actor.
I think there was a time where he was making those movies where it was the dramatic role, and that was to counteract the diehardness of early Bruce Willis. But then after that, it's been nothing but, to my recollection, nothing but action type.
But you say diehardness of Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis in that period, I knew as funny Bruce Willis. Like, I don't think of Die Hard when I think of Bruce Willis. That seems to be everyone's movie, and I get why. I'm not.
What other funny? Besides, what else was there? Death Becomes Her.
There was Moonlighting, which he was David Addison. Well, but that's the thing. That's Bruce Willis to me. That mentality is Bruce Willis to me. Blind Date is funny. Hudson Hawk is funny. I guess he's doing jokes in Die Hard. Death Becomes. I mean, I guess you're right. No, now that I'm saying this, I guess he wanted to be a serious actor. He wanted to do dramas. He was so. And again, we'd have to go back and watch because maybe it doesn't hold up. And now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't seen Moonlighting in a while, but my memory is he was so engaging and entertaining and winky and fourth wall breaking on Moonlighting that I would love to see that again. And I wonder if we would have, if he hadn't done Die Hard, if Blind Date had been the breakout role, or if Blind Date had stumbled, would he be begging Sybil Shepherd to reboot Moonlighting? Like, I don't know. I kind of want a funny Bruce Willis again, but it's just, we're not going to.
I like. We had the best of both worlds, I think, in The Fifth Element, because there's comedy in The Fifth Element, loads of comedy.
And he's good with that. There's comedy in 12 Monkeys. Like, he's a good. I like it when he's not invincible. Fifth Element, 12 Monkeys. He's a guy who gets beat up, who can't necessarily hold his own, and I like that. You know, that's very Han Solo of him. He's the only other actor I could think of that might have been able to pull off Han Solo at some point. Like, he's got that to him.
Do you think he'll have sort of like a rebirth in a few years where he's taking on those elder statesmen? Am I saying that right? Yeah,
statesman, I believe, is the word you want.
Statesman, that's okay. Thank you.
I don't, because I think he would be doing it by now. I think he would have to.
You don't think so?
I think he and Liam Neeson, they've got these action movies. They can stay in shape. They can.
I could see it happening though. I can see him taking on, those roles that maybe. Well, think about Nobody's Fool, I think is the name of the movie that he had with Paul Newman.
I'm going to say the 1994 film, Nobody's Fool.
Is that what it was?
I don't know what it was. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, he can do it. I haven't
seen it.
But he hasn't done it.
I haven't seen it, but I could see him doing the Paul Newman roles coming up.
I don't think he's going to let himself be vulnerable anymore. I think he got tricked with Die Hard and stuff.
I think he will.
Well, I'd like to, because honestly, I want to think I like the actor, and I want to think I can separate him from his politics. I don't know if I can. I want to think all that because he, again, hilarious in Moonlighting, over the top but funny in Hudson Hawk, but just 12 Monkeys, and Fifth Element, he's so good. And
we should do a double feature.
Films. We should check that. I haven't seen 12 Monkeys in a while. I love that movie. I should go back to that. But
I haven't seen either of those two in a while. I've probably seen Fifth Element more recently.
I feel like I have at least parts of it because it seems to always be on TV. But I don't know. He's someone who he's come up on the show a few times. I thought it was worth thinking, what else has he done? And you did it for the most part. There's movies out there. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking broken English, not broken English, but broken cadence. This would be a nice time for you to jump in and say, well, Tim,
Tim, I've got a pop 5 for you as well.
Awesome. I'm ready. It is nerve-wracking.
Yes. So going back, as you suggested, taking my inspiration from previous episodes, this pop 5 is inspired by episode 26, which was your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode where you talked about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blimp and how you got that together and sold it on eBay. So I have a pop 5 for you when you're ready. I'm going to get my timer ready.
Right, I'm set.
I'd like to know the 5 things, Tim, the 5 pop culture things that you once had that you wish you hadn't sold. Go.
Well, Jesus. Okay, this is hard. I'm going to say the Transformer named Hot Rod. I'm going to say, do they have to be toys?
No, anything you've sold pop
Okay.
culture wise.
Anything I've sold pop culture with. Okay. Oh god, this is hard. The Hoth playset with the turret and probot from Star Wars. Oh god. This is really hard. There's so many CDs I shouldn't have. There's a Neil Gaiman chapbook I shouldn't have sold. There's a leather-bound copy of The Dark Knight Returns I shouldn't have sold. And I had
no more.
Okay. I almost had to tell you about the child I sold into small child slavery.
I was counting down when you were naming some CDs. What were the CDs? Did you name CDs?
I said there were CDs. I wish I hadn't sold. I was naming books. I know you don't read, but I was naming books. No, there are CDs. Like, I wish I hadn't. Like, and I've had to rebuy them back, too, as part of it. But there are plenty of CDs I'm sure I wish I hadn't sold. A lot of bootlegs that I've lost. A lot of just stuff that, I went through the phase of liking, stopped listening to. Now, not so much, because digitally I can find most anything. But I definitely sold stuff. Yeah, musically. No, I mean in the world. Anything I need. No, I mean, right now, I want fingerless gloves. Let me get online here. Well, just finger gloves. Well, finger gloves. I'm just saying you can't. Browser.
You can't. You can't digitally experience that Hoth playset, which I also had.
Yeah, it was awesome. No, and those I don't know. I traded those. I traded a lot of my Star Wars stuff. That was the one with like the ice bridge that you turned a lever and it would collapse. No, that's the generator playset. I wish I had that. Good for you. That's awesome. I had the Rebel turret and probot set. I had a probot launch. The bridge was something separate. No, there was a bridge on that one. The turret with the gun turret, right? That you could walk into. There was a door to go into it. I mean, I couldn't, but I think my Rebel officer figure could. Yeah. No, those are two different playsets. The bridge was a generator, a bridge, and like an ice cavern. And you could connect. No. They both had a little latch. You could connect them. You're forgetting though. I didn't have the other one. You're forgetting that there was like a two pieces, two ice pieces. Sounds like your mother built you a bridge because I don't think that was part of the playset. We'll look it up after. I want to look it up. After, never talk about it on the show again. But yeah, no. I mean, those are things that. So I'll tell you things that I've lost. I moved to Chicago in 2008, and in doing so, I packed up a lot of stuff. Sold a lot of stuff too, but packed up a lot of stuff, and immediately moved back. And there's 3 boxes that never made it back, and I'm so furious because in those boxes were a Tank Girl movie poster, an Oingo Boingo Dead Man's Party record release poster, a Transformers Season 1 from 1984 poster, a painting my best friend of Nate did of Megatron, a Mallrats poster. These are all posters. Now I'm thinking about it. Wow. But there was boxes of things that got left behind that I'll never see again. And that I miss. And it's weird because I don't need them up. It's been very long by now. But yeah, selling stuff is hard because in the moment it helps. But yeah, down the line, it's kind of like, I wish I could just put that back on my desk again. Although looking at my desk right now, it's cluttered anyways. There's this Dazzler, Alpha Trion, a Sharkticon, a Slave One. It's a mess. I don't need more things on it. Well, I'm sorry if I've made you saddened by the losses. What, do I sound saddened? No, but if you are internally, I apologize. I'm not going to let on to it because that's weakness. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. You know what else is sad? I'll tell you what's sad. Sad and scary. 2 weeks ago on this very show, I forced myself into watching a movie from childhood that nearly made me shit myself with terror last 2 weeks ago. I bet there's a better sentence I could overlay that with some editing. I watched The Day After a few weeks ago, a movie about the United States before, during, and after a nuclear strike, an apocalyptic strike on Earth. And it was scary because it was realistic. Normally I like those kind of movies, but this one hit a little too frighteningly close to home. Have you seen The Day After? You know what? I haven't seen The Day After. The Day After existed in my life and in my world, but I've never watched the movie. It was one of those movies where I was aware of how terrifying it would have made me, so I didn't watch it. I didn't seek it out. You would have been made terrified. I would not have wanted to look at you. Well, is that what I said? It's a frightening movie. I said some of that sentence. You said part of it. But yeah, it's an apocalyptic, scary movie. But what I thought I'd ask you, and I'm curious because maybe this isn't a topic you like, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I was going to ask you to name your 5 other pop culture post-apocalypses that you enjoy. Does that make sense?
Post-apocalyptic things that I enjoy.
Pop culture post-apocalypses that you enjoy.
It makes sense, but I think you're right. I don't know if this is really something I go to, but let's give it a shot.
Let me restart the clock. All right, ready? Drop that bomb now.
Yeah, wow, this is really something I don't.
Your mic was off.
I'm not drawn to.
Can't think about something you enjoy. Maybe something we've talked about but never released. Maybe something that will be back.
I watched Mad Max. Mad Max was fine.
That's an apocalypse. And you got 4 movies there you can mention. That would bring you up to 4.
Okay, Thunderdome and the other ones.
That's it. But that's all. That's
I'm not a huge
done.
Fan of I'm sure you're going to start naming post-apocalyptic. I am doing terrible with my statesmanship today.
Calypso music. I'm going to name some calypso music. Yeah, no, because I love this genre. I mean, just off the top of my head, Days of Future Past from the X-Men, The Terminator. I actually wrote down The Day After. That's kind of a cheat.
But I mean, I like The Terminator, but I don't think of it as post-apocalyptic because it mostly happens in.
But the future they're coming from, the whole movie is set up around the idea of the apocalypse.
That's why it didn't pop into my head.
Nothing popped in your head, so that can't be why.
No.
Oh, Mad Max did. Did you ever watch the show Spiral Zone? Do you know that cartoon in the 80s?
No, sir.
No, that was a horrifying. No. Earth had been struck by some sort of plague that drove people to be mindless and insane, and they looked horrible. And there's some weird government corp or something kind of trying to run the planet, and there's this group that swoops into the spiral zones, the area where this infection happened, and they try to save people. It was to sell toys, but look it up on YouTube. Spiral Zone has a very frightening opening credits, got a pretty heavy guitar riff as well. But no, I mean, I think just in general, most VHS box art in the 80s seemed to celebrate the post-apocalypse. And it was fascinating to me. Yeah,
not a genre I was drawn to.
No, clearly I did.
No, I mean,
did we not watch a lot when we were together? Is that not something we zoned in on?
Heavy metal is post-apocalyptic, right?
Most of it are. I think the ending of it with the
I remember watching that with you. I hadn't seen it prior, and I watched it with you. Tank Girl post-apocalyptic.
Sure, that's a great example. Where was that? I'm sorry.
Again, I watched it with you. Mm-hmm. So it's not something I sought out on my own.
I mean, were there things that scared you that you would enjoy when they were in entertainment? Like that's when the post-apocalypse and the idea of these post-nuclear war areas, that was a horror for me, but I enjoyed it in the entertainment. Like, were there things that terrified you that you would then later enjoy in pop culture?
I'm thinking of like ghost movies.
Yeah, okay.
Those terrified me as a kid. Poltergeist, man, that messed with me. That movie.
And you were scared of ghosts,
and not so much. Yeah, not so much horror movies. It's like I guess I got a kick out and enjoyed, Friday the 13th and Elm Street, but they didn't scare me.
I guess I wasn't really scared of that. I enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street a lot. I really enjoyed it.
But Ghost Poltergeist scared me.
Sure, that's fine.
And I'm trying to think of any other ghost, like The Exorcist. That's a scary movie. I don't know if you know that. Exorcist?
That would be a very weak half of an episode, but sure.
But yeah, like reality-based ghost movies.
Yeah, no, I that's great. No, I think, and I enjoy experiencing those kind of things. And I think pop culture, it was weird. Like with the post-apocalyptic stuff, it could go either way. Sometimes in pop culture, I loved it. Other times it would turn me off and make me uncomfortable. Like, and I mentioned this on the Day After episode. You can't do that on television. Had an episode where an atom bomb goes off because of radiation from Barf's Burgers. And that really threw me. I couldn't handle it because it was scary to see that mushroom cloud. So sometimes it didn't actually work out for the better in pop culture. Did you not watch You Can't Do That on Television? Was that not a show you watched? Oh, really?
That was on Nickelodeon, right?
It was on Nickelodeon, yes.
Yes, I did
Imagine
not
that was
have
on
cable.
the BBC. No, that was on the BBC. That was on PBS. You can't do that on television. Aired on PBS.
No, I didn't have cable for a very long time, so I didn't see that.
You saw MTV.
I know of it. Yes, we talked about that last time. MTV was at my grandparents' house, and so when I was there, I would steal moments to watch MTV.
Your grandparents weren't watching.
but
You
I
can't
wouldn't
do that on
steal-
television or Double Dare. They didn't find that.
No,
stuff
they
funny?
weren't. Not at that time. They weren't watching MTV either. I had to sneak that.
Okay, sneak it. Yeah, You Can't Do That on Television was
Yeah.
a pretty horrible show, actually. And it was one of those shows I watched with a hand on the dial, so if anyone came in the room, I could change it because I was embarrassed to watch it. And I didn't like it. It's not like I liked it. It was on, and there was something odd. It was grotesque. It was comedy, I guess. There was an angle of comedy to it, so that's probably
comedy. I guess that might be a good segue for my next top five.
Okay, all right.
if that's okay.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so this one I pulled this. This was inspired by episode 42, A Wish for Wings That Work.
Oh, the holiday, Boone County holiday special.
Holiday, back to the holiday. A Wish for Wings That Work. So in the next 30 seconds, Tim, I'm getting the timer ready. I'd like you to name 5 characters from the television show Wings.
Okay.
Go.
There was Dauber. There was the sassy old lady who announced what planes were coming and going. There was Crystal Bernard's character, who was a sassy southerner who announced when the planes were coming and going. There was the chubby guy who wasn't the same chubby guy who played the principal on Killer. There was Steve Weber as the smooth guy with the leather jacket, and his brother was played by the guy who did Superman's voice and was also on the
Time's up. That was close.
Is Dauber on that show, or am I thinking of Major Dad?
Dauber is from Coach. I think you're thinking of Coach. That's
there was a Dauber-like character who went on to Ned and Stacy. What was that character's name?
Lowell. Was that Thomas Hayden?
That was Thomas
Church's
Hayden.
character?
That was what's the movie where he drinks all the wine? What's that called? Sideways. That's Sideways. His own Thomas Hayden Church. Also, you could say that's George Jungle's own Thomas Hayden Church.
And honestly, I'll admit here, I only know that it's Lowell because I have the cast list in front of me. I did not watch the show Wings.
You never watched Wings? But it was always on. There was a period where that was only what USA had to offer. You could turn on the TV at any point, and that fat guy I was talking about would be there whining about
with the mustache.
Life. Maybe, I don't even know. His stomach blocked everything, but it was just everyone made fun of him. He hated his life. I don't know if he made it to the finale. I feel like he probably downed a plane on purpose and it was lost to the world. But Wings is a horrible program that I watched a fair amount of and never enjoyed. It wasn't like I was watching Wings and also enjoying it. Everybody was bad on that show. Steven Weber, who's a good actor, was obnoxious because his character was too cool, but wasn't. The guy who does Superman's voice as his brother, charisma less. Crystal Bernard was maybe a little too sassy Southern. Lowell was just a character that I really was hoping just have him trip on his mop and die because his character is sad. And then I guess the only character I liked was the one who announced the planes coming in.
Well, I never got into Wings, probably because it was terrible, but also because I didn't get the concept of
an airport,
this little small airport. Yeah, like with a diner, and yeah, it's just I got. I could watch news radio all the time.
Well, those are very not similar shows.
Well, but I'm saying
I could enjoy a program that's well written and watch Wings.
It's a work. Yeah, that's what. As a kid my age, it's like I enjoyed knowing that, like having some at least experience or able to imagine what it's like to work at a news radio station or to work at a bar.
It's not like news radio, by the way. That is not what it's like to work at a news station.
No.
That is not at all how that works. Also, there are news radio stations anymore. But
I imagine this is not how it is to work in an airport either.
I think one of the reasons Wings was so awful is that's probably a pretty realistic depiction of a very dull job. We have to get you to and from where we're on, and you have to get you back from an island that's isolated. They used flights. It wasn't like they were getting flights in from France and stuff. They were just flying back and forth from the mainland. Characters from Cheers
Is that what they were
visited
doing?
them. Yeah, that's all. They were just, it was off
Really?
tape or something. Yeah.
I know. I guess I
They
just
weren't
know
working
nothing
for the
about
military.
Wings.
There weren't guest stars who were like, boy, my arm's tired. I got to get to the sands and perform tonight. I'm Fred Travelina. I got to get to the sands and perform tonight. I'm Rich Little. I got to get to the sands. That's not in Massachusetts. I'm Jeff Dunham, but a young Jeff Dunham, but still an unfunny Jeff Dunham. Like that. It's just, it was an awful show that was on for, I'm going to say, half my life. And in addition to being on for half my life, was also in reruns for that half and past it. I don't know why. I don't know anyone who's a fan of Wings. I do know for a while the cutout bin at the local ShopRite grocery store had seasons 2, 3, and 4 available on DVD of Wings for $4. People aren't scooping up Wings. People remember all these actors from other things, and then they think, oh yeah, and they were on Wings, that show I never saw them on. But I don't know how a show like that lasts. It's not well written. It's not well acted. These are good actors, but they're not acting well. Maybe it's a product of its time. Maybe it had a good lead-in, but Wings, if we looked it up right now, outlasted all of its actors and kept going with different actors. I think it eventually morphed into The West Wing. I think that's a spinoff of Wings. I'm not sure. But it is bad television.
Is it one of those shows that stayed on the air because our parents enjoyed those actors?
My parents didn't. They weren't old actors either. They were young. They were in their 20s. It was supposed to be Cheers on a plane. You know how you can get speed on a boat? This was Cheers on a plane, or Cheers in an airport, I guess. Yeah. But it is bad. God, it's really bad. Veronica Closet was not enjoyable, but I would much rather watch 4 days of Veronica's Closet, which is the entire run of the show 3 times, than watch, I would say, a USA afternoon of 6 episodes of Wings. A program that I laughed at twice, probably, by the way. Once because I couldn't believe it was still on, and then once because I realized it was funny that it was still on, because nothing happens on Wings. Oh, God, Wings. Oh, you're awful. I wish Wings didn't work out, but it did. I wish for Wings to fail. I wish for Wings to maybe not be in USA so much. I wish for Wings to be removed from my memory and replaced with anything, even pictures of apartheid happening, because it is awful.
Let's replace it with the next Pop 5. How's that
All right, let's do another Pop 5. Let me look at my list here. Well, we're talking TV, I guess. You know, those are, you know, where Wings is a real show, but Wish for Wings that worked. That was an animated show. So why don't we talk cartoons for a minute? How about that? We've talked a little bit before. We've talked about the X-Men. We talked about Animaniacs. We talked about the Ticks. I want you to think of 5, and they don't have to just be children's cartoons, but 5 animated programs that we watched in the 1990s. Are you ready?
That you and I watched together?
I said that, but if you watched them on your own, that's fine. Just can't be Animaniacs, can't be Tick, and can't
in the 90s.
X-Men. In the 1990s. Are you ready not to mention the Tick, Animaniacs, or X-Men?
Sure.
Then go.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, the Simpsons.
That's
because you didn't include that one. The Critic.
Oh, that was on my list. I love that show.
Yeah, The Critic's great. Dr. Katz.
That's also on my list.
Capital Critters. I probably checked out Capital Critters.
Capital Critters it was. That's 4. You can do kids shows.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some kids shows that aren't Animaniacs.
2 seconds.
Eek the Cat.
Yes, that's on my list too.
Eek the Cat? All right. Do I have one more?
You said 5. I think you said 5. Do you have another one? What did you say? You said The Simpsons. You said The Critic. You said Dr. Katz. You said Capital Critters, and then you said Eek the Cat. Awesome. I had Gargoyles and Batman on my list, but
Gargoyles.
I would love to talk Dr. Katz and The Critic, but instead, because I think we can save those for episodes. Those are 2 of my favorite shows of the 90s. What? And I know, but what was Capital Critters, and how did you happen to know when it was on to catch it?
Capital Critters. I just remember Capital Critters coming out because The Simpsons was a hit. Mm-hmm. And I just remember there being a lot of stories about the reason it even existed is because The Simpsons was a hit.
What was it? Explain the show.
CBS. If I remember correctly, it was mice and rats and other critters that lived in Washington, D.C., and I guess that's probably all I know, actually. Maybe they had their own little government in the walls of the Capitol.
The White House. I think Bob Goldthwait did a lab rat. It was It's weird that it got the fury then of Simpsons, because I feel like in the wake of the Simpsons there were a few cartoons. There was Fish Police. There was Baby Blues.
Fish Police.
What else? I'm sure there's other.
Baby Blues is based on the comic strip, right?
Yeah, and it was crap.
And Dilbert was also. I don't know if it was
that was later, but yeah,
because of the Simpsons.
Yeah, I think it was just because of comic shows. But yeah, there were. I mean, I'm all at the time, especially. I'm sure I checked out all of these shows at least once, except for Fish Police. I couldn't find it. That's based on a comic book, but I was a huge and am a huge fan of animation. So when the Simpsons hit in prime time, there's suddenly an opportunity for other shows to come up. Yeah, I was thrilled by that conceit, by that concept. And yes, most of them were crap because they weren't trying to do their own thing. They were just trying to be topical. If I remember, Capital Critters, and this is a hard thing for a show to do, I think it wanted to be sort of politically relevant, like a sharp, like a Murphy Brown, but with a Bobcat Goldthwait. But it's a cartoon. So they have to, they're working on that months, 6 months, 8 months ahead of time. So I'm sure I didn't get the politics. I think I saw one episode of it, to be honest, and I probably wasn't that into it, but I was always pushing for it because, again, I loved animation. Yeah, it'd be cool to do a little research and see what else, because there was MTV was a good source for animation. They had Mission Hill. I think they may have had the Oblongs. That might have been later. But yeah, there was a lot of good animation. The 90s was a pretty good time for animation, especially as we saw for adult stuff. And again, let's do a Dr. Katz episode. Let's do a Critic episode, because those are both shows that I learned a lot from.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's do that.
Great. Let's not do it right now, because we got to do another top 5.
Let's do it. Oh, it's for me, right?
Oh, that was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is inspired by episode 33, which is the episode where we talked about one of your heroes, if not your singular hero, Paul Westerberg.
Hey. Thought you were going to say Jeff Dunham. I hate Jeff Dunham. Did I tell you, or did you say did I watch the Jeff Dunham special?
You told me you watched one recently, yes.
Yeah, and
why did you do that?
That's a good question. I'm embarrassed because I tweeted about how awful it was, but I realized in tweeting this, I'm watching it and people know this. I watched it because of how absorbingly bad it was. I can't get over how bad it is. He's so smug up there. He's so like, this is gonna really hit him. This is a jibe. This is clever. And it's not. It's cheap jokes, hack jokes, racist jokes that aren't doing anything, so they're just racist jokes. And I'm talking about the pepper on a stick. No, I'm talking about Jeff Dunham. But, oh, God.
Do you recall that you saw him live?
What?
You saw him at was it the Comedy Connection at Faneuil Hall?
No, I didn't see Jeff Dunham at the Comedy Connection.
You saw Jeff Dunham.
What? We saw Jeff Dunham?
Yes, and that's my fault. I had some familiarity. With Jeff Dunham. I remember he had a woozle named Peanut, or a peanut named woozle, or something like that.
I first heard it as a joke on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I thought I enjoyed him at the time.
Did I?
And you enjoyed that live experience. In our newfound freedom of living in Boston and being able to go to nightclubs and comedy clubs,
or a Jeff Dunham show.
But me being familiar with this comedian, I kind of corralled us, and everyone agreed, and we went and saw Jeff Dunham at the Comedy Connection at Faneuil Hall, and I remember we all kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of a neat experience for me. I don't know, $30.
You spent $30 on seeing a horrible act, 15? Even then?
Yeah, I don't recall any of it except just the experience of going out, late at night. I mean, that was just exciting for me.
But exciting to go and come back. But the show itself, I don't remember a second of this, and I'm ashamed. Embarrassed I don't remember it. Yeah. Ashamed that I went. Because I despise, Gallagher level despise Jeff Dunham.
I don't think you knew him at the time.
No?
I think you just went along. Yeah, I think you just went along with the outing. It
Was this freshman year? This would have been freshman year.
Do. Yeah, it would have been freshman year.
You're not going to ask me to name 5 Jeff Dunham puppets, are you?
No.
What did
I was doing
Paul Westerberg.
The Paul Westerberg. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see.
Wait, where did Jeff Dunham come from just now?
I don't know. I think I talked about Paul Westerberg being a hero of yours, and I think you jokingly said Jeff Dunham as well.
Yes, jokingly. Okay, that's probably right.
But I want to see if you can name 5 other influential Pauls.
Do they have to be musicians?
You ready? No, just anybody. Paul.
But from the...
Ready?
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead.
Paul Weller. Paul Thomas Anderson. See, I know some from this century, but they don't count. Paul Lee Shore.
Okay.
Paul McCartney.
All right, thank you.
Are you related to the McCartneys now? Is that what you're going? Call me Paul McCartney. And
all right,
yeah, I don't know.
That's time. You want to try one more?
No, because that's all I got.
That's a good list.
That's 4.
That's a 4. Are you influenced by any of these 4, especially Pauly Shore?
I guess I'm not. Oh, was I supposed to be influenced by them?
No, not necessarily, but that's what
I guess Paul Thomas Anderson a little bit. Boogie Nights was pretty changing. Yeah, kind of hit me in terms of storytelling without a central story. Yeah. Yeah,
that was the storytelling without a central story. That nails it. I walked out of Boogie Nights underwhelmed. I was like,
what?
Yeah, I guess it was a... Yeah. No. Let me finish. I walked out and I was like, I think I liked it. It was okay. And then we were talking about it. I was like, that segment, that was awesome.
Did we see that together?
And then we were talking about No, I saw it out here. I was in LA.
Okay. Because I saw that twice in the theater. I really, really liked that movie. Loved that movie.
And and then, the more I talked about it, the more I realized I loved the movie. I loved it in its segments. I loved it in its bits and in its little stories. And I realized after the fact that it just was genius how all these seemingly separate parts came together to make what initially I thought was an underwhelming movie, but ultimately was like just such a well-made movie.
That was an awesome time to be going to fucking movies, because there was that, there was Being John Malkovich, there was Fight Club, there was Three Kings, there was Beautiful Girls, there was, oh, come on, Tim, think of a non-male directed movie. They're out there. You've seen them, you big fucking white male. Come on. I can't. I'm so embarrassed. But no, it was a great... Boys on the Side. Is that fair to say? It was a great time to be seeing these movies. And it's weird because, you know, like I always think like, I wonder what it was like to have seen The Godfather. I wonder what it was like to have seen Taxi Driver, American Graffiti, or these classics. And it's like, I feel like that was a time where we were seeing classics in the theater. You know, we saw Rushmore together. You know, we saw all these other movies. We saw Bullwinkle and Rocky together. You know, we saw all these other movies that are now these classics to people younger than us coming up, where it's like, oh, that was that movie growing up that I saw on TV. It's everyone talks about it. And so we had those, and it carried over in the 21st century too. But yeah, I fucking loved mid to late 90s movies. I mean, there was a lot of great crap too, but it was just having the art houses right there, having the Nickelodeon right fucking there, and going into that just to see movies. I love that. Was there another Paul that you could think of that I was missing? Paul Lynde. Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde. No, I'm actually surprised Paul Weller was your first Paul.
Well, just because that would always come up when I was looking for Paul Westerberg at the used stores.
Oh, really?
They would have Paul Weller. They may not have Paul Westerberg. Is he in the Jam? Is he from the Jam?
He is from the Jam. He has a pretty significant solo career as well. Paul Schaefer was the other one that I had in my head.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Where was that? You know what that proves to me? And I think we were talking about it in the end of the decade or whatever, the 1993 episode. David Letterman probably wasn't as big of a part of my life as I think he was. I loved the show and I watched it, but yeah, Paul Schaefer didn't come right to the front of my mind. I guess I wasn't watching it every week. That's one of the things when I re-listened to that episode, I'm like, what are you saying here, Tim? I do like David Letterman a lot. I did watch him a lot, but I don't think he changed me. He was a talk show I enjoyed, but yeah, weird.
I find that there are times in my life where I might be really into something for, 6 months or less or more, and then don't go back to it again. But I still feel like I speak to it like that was something that was always in my life for years and years and years, but only because I was really into it for that short amount of time. I don't have an example for some reason, but
I guess that's how memory works. That's how these things work. But I was surprised. I was like, I think I'm really trying to attach myself a little more to David Letterman. And again, I loved him and I find him very funny. I think he was the talk show I watched, but I'm like, well, yeah. Well, maybe we should be wrapping. Want to do one more each, and then we'll wrap this up?
Sure thing, man. Let's pick a fun one.
Sir, I will.
I can actually get 5 answers out.
I think I have one you're going to enjoy.
This is the Oasis one. Let's go.
Not Oasis Space, but I think you're going to like it.
Okay. Here's the thing. If you ever did do an Oasis Pop 5, I probably would only come up with 3 answers. Because
here's the thing. If I ever did an Oasis Pop 5, and that's it. Because I don't think I would. I don't know enough about them to say 5 things. I could probably name 5 Beatles songs they've covered. I could probably do that. That'd be a pretty good one. So a while back, we had a pretty good episode where we both discussed, I know we had the one, where we both discussed one day doing a podcast, where we discussed an album that had impacted us both back in 1993, 94, or college.
Yeah.
But instead of talking about that, no, we're going to talk about that. This is an easy one. This is one just to make you feel good about yourself.
Oh, no.
I don't even think we need to talk about anything once it's done, but I thought you would enjoy it. So what I'm going to ask you to tell me, because it's someone we've spoken of and because they do matter to anyone our age or just a little bit older, please tell me your 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the 90s, not heading into the 2000s or beyond, favorite Pearl Jam songs, also called tracks. Go.
Okay. State of Love and Trust. Corduroy.
Really?
Yeah.
About the bear?
Hey,
the bear song.
Don't stop my time.
You can't do this? Come on. What after you?
But you're taking my time. Rearview Mirror.
12 seconds.
Alive.
The bear?
The bear? Yellow Ledbetter. And
that's 5.
All right, I did it.
5. And then there we go. There's the time's over. Wow, I thought you would have just rattled them right off. You had to think. Did you have to think because you were trying to sort them out, or?
I didn't want to name them all from one album because I figured if I just, started naming songs, they would just come off of one of the albums. So I wanted to.
We only shared one. We both shared Yellow Ledbetter.
Yeah,
I had that on my list too. Rearview Mirror, you said that, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, we had that. I had Release off their first album. You had Alive off their first album. I had Elderly Woman, which you did not say, and Nothing Man. You didn't have anything off of that album, did you? Off of the one with the spin the black circle spin song.
I had Corduroy is off of Vitology.
Oh, you're right. That's the name of it. What does that word mean?
Corduroy? It's a
Vitology.
Vitology is
maybe like the bear?
Vitology is like some sort of brain study, I believe. Like parts of your skull map to other parts of your body. It's like an old science,
like the vital parts.
I believe so. I think that's what it is.
Biology.
That's what I remember it being when I was curious about
from the case.
Title.
Are you sure it's not studying something that's like the bear?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, good. No, Pearl Jam.
Is Corduroy about a bear?
There's a book called Corduroy that's about a bear.
That's true.
He has green suspenders on. He lives in a department store. He's kind of like America's Paddington, but without the flasher angle.
That's right. He tries
walking around with that jacket.
He tries to get a button off of a mattress. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. What's interesting to me is that he only tries. I don't think he succeeds. And I'm like, first of all, buttons on a mattress. When are you shopping? But second of all, that should be pretty easy for the bear. He put his pants on, so he has grip. Well, there's probably not a lot we can say about Pearl Jam because we had a whole episode dedicated to it.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised.
But,
our last episode, we were talking about albums from our high school years. Neither one of us mentioned Pearl Jam or Nirvana, which I thought might come up.
Well, Nirvana wouldn't have been mine because that wasn't something I liked. I mean, I was thinking like, where are the grunge albums? And I felt it's on my list of 10. It was there, but for 3, no, because that wasn't hitting me. I think before Pearl Jam, before any of that, I would have put Soul Asylum. Are they grunge?
I think they became grunge. Did they start as grunge? I'm not too familiar with Soul Asylum. I mean,
they started in like 83 or 84.
Yeah,
but I mean, they were big to me in high school. They were important to me,
yeah.
I think.
I think they got looped into the grunge, I guess, on their like 8th album or something. That's not a band I'm too familiar with.
Were you a fan? I thought you were a big fan of Soul Asylum. Am I getting
No, I'm not a big fan of Soul Asylum. I like that song.
Well, there goes the pitch for that episode.
I like a couple songs. We should do a grunge episode, though. I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, or we could do an episode with the bear. No, we could do a grunge. We did the single soundtrack.
We did the single soundtrack. We
talked Pearl Jam. That's a grunge episode.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just keep...
You opted not to like it in high school.
We'll keep spreading it out, and we'll just do it album by album.
Okay, we'll cover them all till we hit live. Or is it live? I hate that band.
Oh really?
God.
I like their first 2 albums okay enough.
You didn't have to say that. You could have just said you like them. Do they have more than 2 albums?
Yeah, they've got Secret Samadhi or something like that was their 3rd album. And just the title alone, I was like, I'm done with this band.
I hated everything by that band.
Why?
I can feel it coming back again like a rock. That song is so fucking bad.
Is it the dramatic
one where he alone?
That's a great song. That's a fine.
Alone, the bear.
That's a good song.
I fucking hate that. That band is bad. Plus, he looked ridiculous.
He did look a little weird, but
he looked really ridiculous.
How much? No weirder than the Midnight Oil guy. Everybody likes Midnight Oil. What's wrong with the shaved head?
First of all, no, everyone does not like Midnight Oil. Some people know who they are and some people don't. But no, or Moby, you could say Moby, right. Or Paul Schaefer, or Charlie Brown. Yeah, that band is so self-righteous, self-important, and bad.
See, I like to remove sometimes. I mean, it's hard sometimes, but I can try and remove who the bands are, who the people are from the music.
Sure, I can too. It's still crap music.
Maybe it's because
lightning strikes.
Maybe it's how I came to it, but I like and still actually own those first 2 live albums.
Like a rock, and he's so quiet at the start of that song. It's like step up. It's like he can belt that out. He's not saving.
It's a good song, and I want our listeners to chime in. I want our listeners to chime in and vote. I want to hear what people think. What's the consensus? The first 2 albums, that song, "I Alone Love You." Is that a good
You're going way out of your way to assume people know more about this band than they do.
There's just that song.
Just focus on the songs everyone's going to know.
You're right. People know
because that's what would make them decide if they like them or not.
Good song or bad song? That's what I want people to tell us.
Which song? Because
"I Alone Love You." They have more than 2. "I Alone." Or Lightning Crash, both of them.
Lightning Kravitz.
Lightning Crashes.
Oh, Lightning Crashes. And they got that song, Are You Gonna Go My Ways? No. They're so bad. They are, to me, one of the worst. They are really one of the worst bands of the 90s.
I disagree.
Yeah, I can't stand. I'm sorry if they are the one listener we have. I don't know. I apologize, but you don't like what I do. You listen to Howard the Duck episode.
Better than I don't know, Crash Test Dummies.
No, first of all, they're very different bands. So you could say Crash Test Dummies is a great band. They're a very sad band. They're doing something different. I like his voice. I like enough of their songs. Sure, yes, but this band live. First of all, that's like they knew what they were doing. It's like, it must be funny. People won't know what we're called. I mean, I know it was hard to name bands in the 90s. There are no good named bands.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you remember Sean from Emerson?
Yes. Yes, I thought he. Yes, I do. Yes,
he had this bit that he proposed once for one of our sketch shows. He didn't really, there wasn't much to it.
He was in a comedy troupe with you at Emerson College.
Yes.
You're both in a comedy troupe, just to set this in case we use it.
He wanted to do some sort of bit with a band called, and I'm going to spell it out first and then say it. He wanted to name the band SOUL, Soul, and then DOUBT, Doubt. You know, a deep meaning, you know, doubting your soul. He wanted to name the band Soul Doubt. So whenever the band was advertised, people wouldn't go because they would think it was sold out.
Now, here's the thing with the premise there. Not to put it down, who am I to say? A couple things. One, written up on a marquee wouldn't work because it's sold out.
Well, it never became a thing.
If you're a fan of the band, you know they're called Sold Out or Sold Out. And three, if you're listening to the radio and they've never announced the band, they've just said something sold out, you wouldn't be interested in going anyways. It would have to be sold out show is sold out. And you'd be like, what? Oh, I don't even know what they're talking about. When's soul? You would call them saying like, yeah, when does, because if you, back then in the 90s, if you wanted to be like, oh, we're Afghan Wigs are coming to town, I wonder when, you would call the venue. You would dial up the Paradise. Someone would answer the phone. You'd be like, hi. They'd be like, hello, how can I help you? I'd be like, I was curious when the Afghan Wigs were coming to town. They'd be like, oh, and then they would read off the dates. Uh-huh. They wouldn't go like, I was curious when the Afghan Wigs were coming to town. And then the person wouldn't go, Afghan Wigs, and leave it at that. And you'd be forced to go, oh, I guess it's a haberdashery or something. No, so if you're to call up and say, sold out, when is the sold out show? Maybe you could go like, well, which one? Are you talking about the Breeders or are you talking about, you know, but most likely they'd be like, oh, the sold out show is this date. And you would have to be a moron to forget you had just asked for the band you're interested in to be like, oh, they're sold out. And then it'd be like, yep, on this date. And like, well, what other dates are they here? Like, are they just here for the one date? Well, oh, so I can't see them. Can't see who? Sold out. Yeah, they're here for that date. What date? Third date. I mean, you could do that.
That's what he was going for. Yeah. And it just we never could figure it out.
You know how you could get out of that? You know what I think? I think what you could do back and forth, then the person who works at the Paradise pauses and goes, which band? And then the person who calls goes, sold out. And the person at the Paradise goes, wait, sold out? And then the person on the other end goes, the Bear? I think you could do that.
50 episodes.
There's your show. There's your wonderful show of Pop Fives. Bob, thank you.
Hey,
this has been great for a year.
Yeah.
Right? I think it might go downhill, but it's been a good year. I'm glad we've done 50 episodes. I'm looking forward to some more.
Yeah.
I hope the audience, the listenership again, 20popcast.com is the website. Please go to that. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say two things coming up. One, we're going to try to have a lot more guests on the show. We're going to start building shows around, same shows we're doing, but having a third voice in there. I'm going to try to do some episodes where we're talking specifically to one person.
If we have Jeff Dunham on, we could have a fifth or sixth voice as well.
We wouldn't have to be there. You could have him, a pepper on a stick, and some racist caricature who just keeps saying the bear. But we do want to work. I like having other people. I like it when we're here, and I like it when we're here with someone else. We've had guests in the past. So I guess I'm saying you, the listeners, if there's something you think you'd be good about talking about, something from the 80s or 90s that meant something to you, something that you have some knowledge on, or just want to talk about and think it might work for the show, drop us a line. Pop Talk, because we could do this. We could have you on the show. We'd love to have you on the show. Bob, you and I have our relationship, which is great. We have our viewpoints, which is great. I'd love to get a third person in there once in a while. So that is something we want to set up. Another thing, I'm kind of just putting this vaguely. So go to Pop Talk. Drop us a line if you want to be on the show.
At 20popcast.com.
That's right. Pop Talk's a tab there, but that's the website. Boy, this went horribly.
No.
The other thing I was going to say is that I enjoyed it. I know there's something playing right now. I love pulling in different songs of the era. I love picking what songs go with the episodes. I love being like, here's a song I like. It's going to blend in really well and then fade out at a funny point. We have to stop doing that.
Yeah, we
for
need
legal reasons coming up if we want the show to continue to grow. What was that?
We need our own theme song, don't we, Tim?
We do. We need a theme song. I think there are ways to do it. I think there are ways we can use songs, but I've started posting the podcast on YouTube. It's been blocked a few few times because of songs we use. So yeah, we're looking for someone who can maybe compose us a theme song, something maybe an 80s synthesizer, 90s grunge theme, something merged together.
Ooh, we could have a contest if we got enough submissions.
Usually you have the contest and then you get the submissions, but that's true. Once we got the submissions, we could turn it into a contest. Let's just get some interest first. If you're a musician, if you write themes, if you'd be interested in writing a theme, what was that?
I'm thinking ahead. I'm 2 steps ahead here.
What do you think about it? The bear? No, but I think we're looking for a theme song. So if you're musically inclined, if you'd like to share something with us, I mean, look, we can't pay you, but we can definitely give you credit every episode. It'd be nice to have some sort of music. Anyways, that's just putting that out there. I'm sure there's a better way to talk about it some other time. But hit us up at 20popcast.com. Hit us up. Jesus Christ.
That's a thing people say.
Hit us up. Hey, hit us up. I alone can hit you up. Fear's not the answer. Like a rock. Bob, do you have anything you'd like to say here at the end of this episode?
Just again, I want to say thanks for a great year, Tim. This has been fun. This has been great. Great staying in touch. We had gone years without being this in touch, and now we've gone a year talking just about every week, and it's been great.
It has been mostly great. That's true. So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. And again, listeners, thank all of you who listen. I know we have people listening every week. If you could share it with a friend, if you know someone who might like it, or just mention us somewhere. If you can give us a little review on iTunes, that really helps. Give us some star reviews or type something really quick. I know it takes a little bit of time, but it's time that's greatly appreciated by us. We'll continue to do the show. It's growing. We got some stuff coming up, perhaps. Now I feel like we have to because I said we do. But, for now, I think that's it. Happy 50th episode, everyone. The bear? You know what I find odd is this show.
Our show?
Our show.
This show
had a series, like every now and then I'll go back and listen to old episodes. There are bits that we tried to get going that never went anywhere.
What are some of them?
It being engaging was one.
Okay.
Quality. We used to have like quality of an episode. Did you watch all 4 episodes?
Yeah, that's the whole point of what we're asked to do for each other here is to watch the episodes we're going to talk about.
Oh.
Right?
Well, I wish No, it is.
I was just going to say, out of the 10 minutes that we've recorded, there's about 5 minutes of that you could already use. So we only have to go another 45 minutes or so.
So for you, it's all about length. It has nothing to do with the subject matter. We used to have a bit, and we did it for maybe 3 episodes, where I'd be like, I would say like, hey, Bob, do you remember whatever the year is? And then you would have some witty comeback that I think was supposed to be like, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, that was the year something really happened and non sequitur. And we did that a couple times, and that went nowhere.
I've rewatched a particular moment from some games that I've seen over and over again. I mean, my wife will come into the room. She thinks I'm watching porn, but I'm not. I'm watching the Patriots Super Bowl for the 58th time.
Jerking off to a football game. I'm spraying jizz on the screen of a jet ski. Joke's on her. So is the jizz. Plus, I think he wound up watching TV. I bet he works in TV. I bet he married a TV. I bet he lives with a TV. There's probably been to 3 or 4 of them, and keeps hooking up. And I bet it's a new TV. I bet it's not even like a TV from the 90s or something his age. I bet he's with a much more wider screen digital TV now. It's phony. Big phony.
He probably is.
We had the wiki tweaks that I was so proud of, which is a dumb segment. Every time I listen to those, I'm like, this is intolerable. These are 20 minutes of us talking about bees on MacGyver, ants on MacGyver.
Oh, no. Stop.
It's
God.
It's horrible to hear, right? I think it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear that.
You can't see how cringed I am right now trying to get through that.
You think you were in a bong? I'm in a bong. Gotta get out of this. We very quickly stopped doing what I thought would be the big, hilarious sort of different sponsors every week from Buttwells. That went nowhere. That fell apart.
I still intend to listen to the Howard the Duck one.
See, that means no one listened to it because it's your show, and if you're not gonna, I can't ask someone to listen to a show that my co-host chose not to listen.
That was a busy week. I haven't found the time.
It was 2 weeks ago, if not 3, by the time this airs. Which makes, I guess that doesn't make you a liar yet, because it's only been 2 in real time. But for me, it's been 3 weeks of knowing that exists.
This is a show you like, right? The X-Files?
Yes, very much. Are we doing this show? Is it? No, let me start it. Then ask me again sometime. No, I do like it very much. I am sorry. I was in a bad mood, and I thought maybe I'd get out of it by the time this show started. But apparently,
you're still in the bad mood.
It's not a bad mood. I said bad mood. I'm in a Vlad the Impaler mood. I gotta go hunt me some vamps. No, you're right, a bad mood. At the library, the museum today, I saw a painting. I thought, oh, it looks like Michael Palin. And I realized a lot of these look like Michael Palin. And it's not even like Renaissance specific. Like I always think of him as being from the Renaissance. I know he's not. It's just that thing. I'm like, there are a lot of paintings of men and women that look like Michael Palin at the Massachusetts Museum of Fine Arts. The very first episode, the Rogue One episode, it's a retro shock talk. Then we go to watch the movie. Right between us talking and going back and watching the movie, I do an ad for Zencastr.
That's right.
I do a little non-sponsored. This is how we do it, Zencastr, with some music behind us. I was so embarrassed. I was listening. I'm the only one listening to that episode. I was so embarrassed. I'm doing a fucking ad.
You know, I think our last episode of the year should be supersized.
You might get your wish. You might be the only one making that wish, and maybe the Make-A-Wish Foundation will actually intervene and go, nope, sorry, no, you don't get that wish. Why don't you meet Dave Bautista instead? I don't want to meet Dave Bautista. I want a supersized episode. No, we can't do a supersized episode. What if we made up your hand to look like Hellboy's right hand of doom, and Tom Waits came in instead and sang you a little song? No, I just want you cannot have that. What if we got you a Big Mac? What if you got you a Big Mac and you didn't have to pay for it and you could eat that? How about that? What if you just cured my cancer? What if that? Why didn't I do that? Here I am shaking hands with the cast of Pitch Perfect 3 and posing for a selfie. I can't even lift my own phone. I blew it, Genie. I blew it. Why didn't I wish for a goddamn cure? Oh, I blew it. Blew a Wish Foundation. Blew it. Fuck. I'm a 7-year-old saying fuck. Give me my hat. Fuck.